Hello Aries, this is your July 2020 reading. What I'm seeing is you coming from a place in the past where you were asked to pause and re-examine the world that you live in, the world that you've built for yourself, the life that you've built for yourself, and to see it in a new way. What I'm seeing is that as you're moving out of that energy, out of that pause, you're trying to build you do have the right energy within you to build something new, something outside of whatever life this was that had to end. But maybe the way you're going about it is still, it's like you're still using the language of the past. Like you're still, which is fine. Like, you know, we get used to speaking a certain way or thinking a certain way about things as a shorthand almost. And it's not quite working because the old ways of doing things aren't working because you are quite different now. I don't know if you've adopted, it's like you've adopted a different belief system. Whatever this was, that whatever experience you had that made you look at your life in a new way was spiritual. And so, you know, you had to rely on that spiritual, deeper meaning of what things are important to carry forward. I hope this is making sense. But what I'm seeing is that even though the way that you're thinking about your life is correct, the way that you're thinking about how the energy, the power that you have to create a new life is in the right place, there's still some old patterns, your shorthands, that are keeping you from truly moving forward. Like you're on the bike, but it's not moving forward because the balance is off. So I hope this reading makes sense and that it's helpful, because if you can learn to ride this bike, if you can learn to let go of these shorthands that no longer work for you, these patterns of doing things that feel easy or intuitive, but actually you've outgrown, if you can start to incorporate these maybe more esoteric ideas, like start to find a different way of start to find the ways to bring them into the world in small actions, then I think you'll find it easier to move forward in the way that you want to, in the way that you know inside you have the ability to do. Because otherwise, if you keep trying to do these new, big, great things, but in the old ways, you're going to see it's not going to work. It's going to feel empty. It's not going to work for the people around you who you love. It's like you're going to get to a place where you're forcing solutions, and you're forcing the world to look the way that you know that you can make it look, but it's now because you haven't done it with the right tools, with the right way of speaking, with the right way of building. You're going to build something that won't last. Yeah, the cards are asking you to integrate this new thinking that you have. Maybe I'm trying to think of something more solid, a concrete example. Say you've come to a realization about say you've come to a realization about how your spirituality works in your life. So it could be religion, it could be meditation, like it could be something very structured, or it could be something that's very personal to you. So you've come to this realization about how it best works for your life. But if you're still talking about this spirituality in the way that maybe like we talk about it and in our cultural in general, so the way that we speak to it in our culture in general is you're either, a certain type of religion, or you're atheist, or you're agnostic. Like there are these kind of like very big, broad groups, and we never get to the more sort of refined level of talking about it, because our culture is so big, and we don't spend a lot of time trying to understand the nuances of these different ways of thinking. So it's easy to just sort of continue to speak about it in a broad way, but it doesn't help anyone. So one way that you can think about it is, how are you trying to build things in these broad strokes, or these generalized, like, oh, this is how it's done, or this is how I've always done it. This is how people will accept me to do it because that's how they do it. This is how businesses run. Think about that, but now how ideally you would do it. This new person, this new way of who you are now, accepting everything that you've experienced, accepting who you've become now. Who does this person now? How does this person move in the world? Think about, it's almost like you have to think about yourself in the third person, and like, how do you, Aries, with all of your life experiences and learnings, how do you now conduct yourself in the world, in business, on phone calls? Like, try to think of it at the granular level, and I think that'll help you get past sort of falling on your laurels, or falling on things that are easy or socially acceptable. Because what you really need to do is integrate. You need to integrate these big ideas into who you are. Like, let it seep into who you are, so that you can move in the world as this new person. And then, you know, and then the things, and then you can move forward so that, you know, emotional fulfillment can come, and joy can come into your world, and you can build, so that you can build something that will last, and it will last because it's a reflection of the best and most learned, knowledgeable, experienced parts of you, rather than the old things that didn't work anyways. Okay, I hope that makes sense, Aries. That's a really interesting reading. It's really exciting that you're on this path, and I'll check in with you next month. All right, bye, Aries.